So I recently bought this book, 52 Assignments on Street Photography. You can get this whole range of these types of books, all called 52 Assignments, but they have a whole range to do with different niches in photography. So you can get 52 landscape photography assignments, and I've not looked at some of the others, but there really is quite a large selection of these books. So whatever type of photography you're into, there's probably a book for that. But this is the street photography one, and I think it's really good because obviously it's full of 52 different assignments. So rather than just sort of going out aimlessly and just taking a photo of whatever, it actually gives you, well, an assignment. It gives you like a brief, something to focus on, a theme, and I find that really enjoyable. It's a bit more of a challenge, kind of makes it a bit more fun. And I've spoken about in past videos that where I'd like to take my photography going forward in the future is I want to focus around themes and focus around stories. I would rather do like projects and try and tell stories through my photography around a particular theme, rather than just going out and taking, what might be nice photos, but kind of don't have the same sort of meaning. Just going, let's say you're doing landscape photography and all you do is walk up a summit, take a photo at sunset, and you do that time and time again. Or maybe sometimes you focus on more close-up details and things like that, but there might be incredible, beautiful photos, but there's no correlation between them all. And yeah, just for me, I'd rather focus on projects and themes and stories. So anyway, that's why I thought this book would be interesting and fun. So I recently tried the first assignment in this book, and it's around street signs. So I'll just read out the first assignment. In every town and city, we are surrounded by signs. Street signs, posters, banners, store windows, advertising on buses, public information notices, and so on. And it's all great material for street photographers. If you look closely enough, there's often a connection to be made between the words around you and the people or things close to them. With a bit of luck, these connections can be playful, whimsical, or downright funny. Look at every single sign you see, then think about the creative possibilities and about what other elements you need to make the sign work for you. Sometimes the sign on its own is enough to make a smile-inducing image. For this assignment, create a series of 6 images, either in colour or black and white, not both, where signs are the star. So that was my assignment, and because I live in a very, very small city, I decided to take myself to Newcastle. It's not far away, only about an hour on the train, and it's a much bigger city, so I thought there'd be more opportunities there. So I took the train to Newcastle and to set off on this assignment, and this is how I got on.
Well, almost as soon as I got my camera out, I think I got quite lucky and I spotted this guy stood right next to a sign that had an arrow pointing right to him, so that was kind of an easy pick. Had to take that one, that was kind of a given. So that's going to be one of my photos. And yeah, that was as soon as I got my camera out. So quite fortunate there. That filled me with some hope, but since then I've been walking around for a while and I've not seen much. I've still got another 5 photos to go. I think it's going to be quite difficult. I've just seen a sign for some sort of laser eye surgery that had a picture of an eye on it. I thought if I could get a photo of someone walking past with the eye lining up. I think I'm clutching at straws really. I tried it, don't think it's really going to work. So yeah, I think I'm getting desperate already. So I've just walked past this Newcastle City Council Housing Advice Centre, which rather ironically is closed down. So I thought there could be something there. However, really for that to work, I need sort of like a homeless person sat in front of it, which there isn't. And I don't really like photographing homeless people anyway. But there's definitely some potential with that, I think.
So let's just take a look at the 6 images I kind of ended up with for this assignment then. Yeah, the assignment did say come up with 6 images. So let's go through them now. I will say I did really enjoy this assignment. It is just a lot more fun. And yes, kind of a bit more of a challenge rather than just going out blindly, aimlessly and just praying and hoping something good happens. And it was really enjoyable going out with like an assignment, a theme and something specific in mind. So I did really enjoy it. What I will say is by the time I got the train to Newcastle, and then I spent most of my time actually filming B-roll and things for the video. Spent more time on that than anything. Then I had to get the train back home as well. So I actually had very, very little time. I'm getting the excuses in now. I had very, very little time on the actual photography and actually looking for photos. So I probably only actually spent an hour just actually walking around taking photos. The rest of the time I was in Newcastle was actually spent mainly taking video. So in an ideal world, it would have been better if I had a bit more time in the day. But anyway, excuses out of the way. Let's go through the images that I ended up with. So yeah, the first one, as I mentioned in the video, pretty much straight away I saw this guy standing next to an arrow. So it seemed like an easy shot. However, obviously the arrow's a lot higher than he is, so it's really pointing over his head as opposed to actually pointing to him. And even if it was lined up perfectly, it's not a good juxtaposition because, I mean, that guy is obviously not the entrance to the library. So that, I saw an arrow, I saw a guy standing next to the arrow, I thought that's an easy one to snap. But really, it's just a stupid one to take because no one's ever going to look at that and think, oh yeah, look, he's the entrance to the library. Nevertheless, that's one that I've went for, even though it's a stupid juxtaposition and it doesn't work. But still, that's one of the ones we're going with. And then, I saw this sign here for some sort of laser eye treatment, Optimax laser eye treatment specialists. And there was an eye on the logo, as you can see there. So I just tried to get that eye kind of lined up with a passers-by eye. And also because the eye kind of looks like sort of like a bit of an arrow, and I don't know, I thought because it's laser eye surgery, maybe it could kind of look like it was like a laser going into someone's eye. This is what I was thinking. Again, didn't really work. I couldn't really get it to line up. I think this one's, out of the ones that I took, this one's my favourite. I don't know. Does he look like he needs laser eye? I don't know. You can see what I was going for, I think. But again, I don't think it really works. But with the limited time that I had, this is still one of the ones that I'm going for. So that's number 2. And then, like I say, I saw this boarded up building, which used to be a housing advice centre. So the fact that it was boarded up, that was quite interesting, I thought. Sort of a little bit ironic, I thought. So, I waited for people to pass and took several photos. The one that I've decided on is this one here, just because, no offence to this guy here, but I think of all the people that I did take a photo of as they walked by, this guy probably could pass as a homeless person more than some of the others. I don't know, he's probably not homeless. I really don't think he is, but between all the photos that he took, people were holding mobile phones and, people in suits and all, like at least this guy kind of, could probably pass as being homeless. So I think this one, out of the few photos I did take, I think this one probably works the most, because you can look at this and instantly understand, like, there is a story there. The juxtaposition between the person and the sign and the boarded up building, I think that does work. I don't think it needs any explanation or anything, whereas the other photos that I've shown so far, and I'm going to show still, they kind of need me to explain what my thought process is and what I'm trying to do, whereas that is a sign of a bad photograph, because a photo, and this is what I don't like about some photos you see on my light just went off. Let's get that back on. That's what I don't like about photos that you see in photography groups and things, where people try and enforce a meaning onto a photograph by, okay, the light's gone, by giving it a clever title. And if it's a good photo, you shouldn't have to give it a clever title to force some sort of meaning onto it. A good photo should speak for itself. You should just be able to look at the photo without any words, without any text, and it should evoke some sort of feeling and emotion automatically. So this one I do think does work, whereas the others I don't, for that reason. So that's 3. Now the next image, again, I think I was getting desperate because I was just doing it very quickly with not much time. I saw this guy stood in front of a Bat Out of Hell poster. I think you can look at this and think, I think you can try and understand what the message is trying to be, but realistically, this guy clearly isn't a bat out of hell, is he? But that's the juxtaposition. That's a connection that I've kind of made and I guess tried to force. But again, it's not one that I'm very happy with. I've made a connection between the guy and the poster, but again, it doesn't really work because he's obviously not a bat out of hell. But again, you can kind of see what I was trying to do. Next image, this one. I don't know, does it work? I think you have to look at this one a bit too hard and a bit too long to try and understand what the message is as well. I think, tell me in the comments otherwise. But it's a guy standing in front of a sign. The sign is telling people to wear a mask, to try and stop the spread of COVID. And he's leaning on the sign, clearly not wearing a mask. And he's actually a security guy for this area here as well. Yeah, he's leaning in front of a sign that says wear a mask, and he's not wearing a mask. So it's as simple as that, really. Finally, if I was picking 6 that I was kind of like happy with for this assignment, well, not really happy with, but happier. What I actually want to go with is I was taking a video at this time, but this grey-haired woman walked past this big, huge sign for a shop or a bar, whatever it was, called Grey Owl. She had grey hair. Now, is she a grey owl? I don't know. I don't know if that's a fair connection to make or what, but I did really like this sign. It was big and it was grand. Nice piece of artwork, really. And I did think it would be perhaps interesting if someone with grey hair, as simple as that, really, did walk underneath this owl with a sign saying Grey Owl. So that's what I was doing. But at the time, I was actually taking a video for some B-roll. And then when I tried to take some photos afterwards, no one with grey hair walked past. So let's just pretend, let's take a still from this video and let's pretend this is one of my images. And that is what I would go for. So these are my 6 images. I'm not overly happy with them at all. Like I say, half of them don't really work because I'm having to explain what I'm trying to do with them, and it's not really, in a lot of them I'm trying to force connections which aren't really there. The only other one I could give, if we weren't going to allow a still from a video, would be this one. Yeah, so there's a sign in the foreground saying COVID-19, keep your distance. And then there's a lot of people in the scene who obviously aren't keeping their distance. This is kind of because there basically are no, not that I'm aware of, there's basically no, all COVID, like COVID's almost been it's basically been forgotten about in this country now. There's no rules to say like you have to wear a mask. Like there's nothing now. Even traveling, you can come to this country, without having to do tests and things. So everything's sort of like back to normal. But yeah, obviously a lot of the signs and things that were there and things were very restricted, they're still there. So that's the reason why this is happening. But yeah, there's a connection there between the sign, keep your distance, and people not keeping their distance. So that it kind of works. The reason why I don't like it is because the photo's just a bit too messy, and your eyes have to kind of like wander around a lot to try and actually make the connection and to actually see what is happening there. It's just too busy and too much going on, I think, for that to really work effectively. So that's why I'd actually prefer to use the still from this video as part of my 6 images and not this one. But you kind of get the idea. I'll probably do this assignment again and spend more time on it, and probably just like, for my own use and not make a video whilst doing it. Like I say, most of my time here was actually spent making the video as opposed to focusing on the photography and the actual assignment. And I should have given myself more time in the day traveling there and back. It didn't leave me with much time in the end. But for the purposes of the video, you get the general gist and the general idea. And I'm going to go through the other 51 assignments, and I probably won't make videos on them all, but I'll certainly make a few. But where, again, what I will say is it was just good to go out with an actual theme in mind, like a challenge, a plan, something specific to focus on. So I'd highly recommend you try that, as opposed to just, oh, let's go out with my camera and see what happens. You don't have to do street signs. You don't even necessarily have to buy the book and go through those assignments. Just pick something yourself. Just say, right, I'm gonna just give yourself a challenge, something very specific to focus on. So if you are interested in this book, I will put a link to it in the description. And otherwise, let me know in the comments what you think of the photos I've shown in this video. But please be kind, because I'm not particularly happy with them myself, but it will still be interesting to hear other people's thoughts. And that's it for this video. So I always hate ending these videos. I don't know why I can't just say, yeah, that's it, thanks for watching, bye. I don't know, but thanks for watching, bye.